Isang paalala, ang video na ito ay ayon lamang sa aking sariling pananaliksik. Hindi ko nais na pilitin ang sino man na maniwala sa videong inyong matutunghayan. Kung hindi kayo kumbinsido sa mga impormasyon at taliwas ang inyong paniniwala sa kaalamang aking ilalahad, maaari kayong gumawa ng sarili ninyong pagsisiyasat para sa inyong kakontentuhan. Ang videong ito ay gabay lamang sa mas malalim na kaalaman at pag-intindi at hindi gawa ng isang profesional. Naniniwala ako na malaya tayong magbigay ng opinyon at suhestyon bilang malayang mamamayan ng Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po.
Not working just makes me poor. Working makes me both tired and poor. If I don't work, I only have financial problems. If I work, not only do I have financial problems, but I also have mental issues. Every day, I have to reply to multiple work chat groups. Got it. Okay, sure. Beggars also say please help, but when beggars go out to beg, they still have to check the weather and the time. I go to work early in the morning and come back late at night, rain or shine, and in the end, I earn less than a beggar. I think about quitting 800 times a day, but I still manage to get perfect attendance every month.
Para sa ilan sa China, ang mga video na kagaya nito ay isa lamang biro. Subalit sa likod ng mga tawa ng mga nasa video ay ang katotohanan ng nararanasan ngayon ng mga nagtatrabaho sa China. Sa kasalukuyan ayon sa mga ito, kahit sino umano sa China ngayon ay nararamdaman ang totoong kalagayan ng kanilang ekonomiya. Pero ang pinaka-apektado ay ang mga kakagraduate pa lamang mula sa kolehiyo matapos ang graduation. Isa rin sila sa mga tila alipin ng gobyerno na kailangang kumayod para mabuhay. Sa ibang kumpanya, madalas ang promotion sa China subalit trabaho at responsibilidad lamang ang dadagdagan at hindi ang kanilang mga sweldo. Pero dahil sa kompetisyon at sa dami ng mga naghahanap ng trabaho, tinitiis ito ng marami para lamang hindi mauwi sa wala ang kanilang pinag-aralan. Marami ang naniniwala na ang pagsisipag sa trabaho ay may kaakibat na magandang kinabukasan. Pero para sa mga taga-China, sa oras na magtrabaho ka ng maayos at mahusay, mas lalala lamang ang iyong mga pinagdaraanan sa buhay.
The harder you work, the more debt you accumulate. The more you persist, the poorer you become. The bigger you play, the more debt you have. These past few years have truly not been suitable for starting a business. There are fewer and fewer people on the streets. Nowadays, if something can be bought online, it's almost impossible to make a living selling it offline. Store owners just watch each other, either getting crushed by competition or dragged down by the market. Even wholesalers and brand manufacturers have turned to live streaming sales, leaving only the restaurant industry appearing somewhat prosperous. Barbershops still have occasional queues, and hospitals are as crowded as ever. It's not fair to blame young people for not getting married, not having children, not spending, or not consuming. In the current environment, no matter how smart or hardworking you are, it's tough to make money renting a place for business. If you push a bit harder, take out loans to expand, you'll just end up worse off. Sometimes it's really better to just lie flat. Lying flat has become the most sensible thing to do in recent years.
Sa pagpasok ng taong 2024, maraming mga kumpanya sa China ang nagsara at maraming mga manggagawa ang nawalan ng trabaho. Madalas sa mga nawalan ng mga trabahong ito ay nagsisipag live selling ang mga kababaihan habang tagapaghatid naman ng kung ano-ano ang mga kalalakihan. Sa pagpasok ng buwan ng Mayo, maraming mga restaurant na at mga shopping malls ang nagsara. Ayon pa sa ilang mga may-ari ng mga ito, mas malaki pa umano ang kanilang babayarang renta kaysa sa kita ng kanilang negosyo sa isang buwan.
I had nothing to do today, so I went out for a walk. Everywhere you go, there's an air of desolation. It's like a battlefield out there. As the real estate market gradually fades from the spotlight, industries directly affected include banking, construction, building materials, renovation, property management, home appliances, and furniture. Hoping to return to the prosperous times of the past is impossible. Some might argue that my failure is due to poor management skills, and there are always people who make money regardless of the times, just like in the restaurant business. Many have said I can't manage well, that my products aren't good, and that my capabilities are limited. I don't deny these criticisms because the reality is in front of us. But in 2024, the restaurant business is also a heavy asset, high investment, and intensive operation industry. It's really not as simple as you think. Given the current environment, is it really a matter of personal capability? Netizens from Shenzhen to Dongguan to Huizhou report that physical stores, commercial streets, and residential shop fronts are filled with cries of despair. Closed shops and transfer notices are everywhere, from city centers to town centers to industrial area night markets, with foot traffic decreasing progressively. Some industrial areas are almost devoid of people. Factory buildings are also vacant, and I rarely see construction workers on the roads this year. With the market saturation and sluggish sales of commercial housing, industries like banking, construction materials such as steel, cement, and plastics, renovation companies, property management companies, home appliances, and furniture industries are heavily impacted and have plummeted. The decline in these industries indirectly affects the income and job choices of those running shops and working away from home. When the overall environment was good and business was booming, 80% of people could make money regardless of what business they were in, and only 20% might incur losses. But now, with a poor overall environment, only 20% are making money, while 80% are losing money.
Marami sa mga tindahan ngayon sa China ang isa-isa nang nagsasara. Natatalo kasi sila ng e-commerce. Kahit ano kasing naisin ng isang tao ay ma-order na niya ito. Kahit ano kasing naisin ng isang tao ay ma-order na niya ito online nang walang kahirap-hirap. Kaya karamihan sa mga physical store ngayon ay mas pinili na lamang na magsara. Subalit ayon naman sa mga nasa e-commerce, nahihirapan din umano sila dahil sa pabago-bagong gusto ng customers. Meron din silang mga trabahador na hindi naaabot ang kanilang mga targets habang maraming mga customers din ang palaging gusto ng discounts.
Platforms like Taobao, Xiaohongshu, and Douyin are all being forced to follow Pinduoduo's lead by offering the lowest prices across the internet and unconditional returns. Our entire e-commerce sector is becoming like Pinduoduo, using the most advanced AI to achieve the most traditional business ideal, eliminating middlemen to avoid markup. However, don't believe that eliminating middlemen will allow source factories to make big profits. They still make meager earnings because if they dare to raise prices, lower-cost factories will snatch away their traffic. So who benefits the most? In the short term, consumers indeed gain, which explains why online consumption, as a proportion of total social consumption, has been increasing from January to April this year. However, in the long run, this homogeneous internal competition may lead to a decline in product quality and a lack of innovation. Manufacturers are solely focused on reducing costs, ignoring other aspects, which means consumers might suffer in the end.
Sa isang factory sa China, ang mga trabahador ay nagtatrabaho ng 12 oras, walang day off at madalas ay wala ding holidays. Ang mga may-ari ng factory, dahil sa kagustuhang makabili pa ng maraming mga ari-arian, madalas ay hinuhold pa nito ang mga sweldo ng kanyang mga manggagawa na may mga pamilyang umaasa sa kanila. Sa tuwing magrereklamo ang mga trabahador, iisa lamang at paulit-ulit ang sinasabi ng may-ari ng factory. Yun ay kung ayaw nyo dito, pwede na kayong umalis. Kaya sa huli, wala ding nagagawa ang mga trabahador kundi ang magtiyaga at bumalik sa kanilang pagtatrabaho. Subalit sa kabila ng mga nangyayaring ito sa China, madami pa din ang napapaniwala ng bansang ito na ang kanilang ekonomiya ang may pinakamalaki at pinakamaganda sa buong mundo. Ito'y dahil na din sa husay nilang magtago ng totoong datos ng kanilang ekonomiya. Nagagawa nilang manipulahin ng mga bagay-bagay at pagtakpan ang totoong kalagayan ng kanilang ekonomiya.
In April, not many bloggers analyzed the economic data, likely because the focus was drawn to the real estate sector. Let's look at the core data. First, the retail sales of consumer goods in April grew by 2.3% year-on-year. Excluding automobiles, consumer goods grew by 3.2%. You could see that the contribution of automobiles in April was -0.9%. Overall, the year-on-year growth rate is still declining, but the rate of decline is narrowing. However, if we consider the data on houses and cars together, given that both housing and car sales are shrinking, the continued lackluster performance of consumption indicates one of two problems. Either people genuinely have no money, or they are afraid to spend money. Looking at investments, nationwide fixed asset investment from January to April grew by 4.2% year-on-year, while private fixed asset investment grew by only 0.3%. You can see that the growth rate of private investment is far below the national average. Combined with the social financing data from April, it's even clear that the investment growth rate is declining, especially in the private sector. However, the surveyed urban unemployment rate was 5.2% from January to April, down 0.2 percentage points from the same period last year, and the unemployment rate in April dropped to 5%. This doesn't seem to match the fixed investment and social financing data. maybe our analysis is wrong. You get the idea, right?
Maraming mga vlogger ngayon sa China ang nagbubulgar ng totoong nangyayari sa kanilang bansa, mga kaalaman na pilit na itinatago na dapat malaman ng bawat mamamayan ng China.
After looking at all this data, one can't help but wonder, do households really have no money? Or are they constrained from having money? I believe we need to stabilize income first, then make efforts to increase them. You know what I mean?
Maraming mga videos ngayon sa China ang nagsisiwalat na totoong kalagayan at nangyayari sa kanilang bansa, mula sa mga pulis na ibinubulgar ang totoong nangyayari sa kanilang batas, mga may-ari ng bahay na nagrereklamo sa pagkakagawa ng kanilang nabiling bahay, mga Chinese na gumagawa ng mga kung ano-anong mga peking bagay kumita lamang, mga naghahanap ng trabaho na sa kalsada na lamang natutulog para makatipid, hanggang sa mga video ng mga gold digger sa China na ine-expose ang totoong bagsak na ekonomiya ng bansa. Ginagawa nila ito dahil sawa na sila at pagod na sa kanilang araw-araw na pinagdaraanan. Hindi sila natatakot na baka mapahamak sila sa ginagawa nilang ito, lalo para sa China. Mas naniniwala sila na kung ang isang tao o isang mamamayan ay nangangailangan ng solusyon sa kanilang problema, mas maigi pang patahimikin na lamang nila ito para matigil na sa kakasalita.